But again, this message is titled The Biggest Enemy. Truth is the biggest enemy in the world today. One thing I realize is that people will grip everything that is a lie and will buckle up and fight and kill and destroy anything that truth bring forth. And I just have to just grip it and understand that these things the Father say need be. He has everything so orchestrated out so we could fully see it for what it is. I would say that you can't see it, but I would be lying if I said that. It's very clearly seen that truth is the biggest enemy in the world today. Truth is not something people want to hear, want to embrace, want to see, want to work with, even want to feel within them. Truth is the biggest enemy in the world today. I got in a little trouble this morning, and I'm going to talk to you about that as well. But when I woke up this morning, I got up again. I don't know if you heard me the first time. I got up and got me a cup of coffee. And I heard a lot of different messages, but one really disturbed me because I never thought to even really listen to this individual. But something in me said, just listen, even if it's just a short minute. The video was just 16 minutes. And when I got in it, I just felt compelled to listen to the whole 16 minutes of this young man who's been on the platform for quite a long time. And I listened to him and was listening to him, and I realized that I'm going to have to accept the level of wickedness that rests within our nation. I'm going to have to accept it. The fact that it's not going to be, as he said in Deuteronomy, in Jeremiah, in Ezekiel, and also in Isaiah, there's not going to be any turning around for the house of Israel until after they are destroyed. Until after they are destroyed. As I talked the other day about the end game, that's the end game of being in this captivity among our oppressor. And that's why you haven't seen it to be as they have taught you, that after he have dealt with the Gentiles, that they thinking that the Most High is going to come in, take them out, and swift them away to the promised land. The end game to Deuteronomy 28 and many of the messages that came out of the prophet's mouth that told us about the end days and about that day, and that's the day we're in, was there's going to be a dealing with. That means a judgment of the Most High on the whole house of Israel first. I say again to you, the biggest enemy. Truth is the biggest enemy on the face of the earth. This truth, not a man nor a woman would want to embrace. This truth, not a man nor a woman would ever want to dissect and see. They're not going to go into the scriptures and study. They're not going to learn of this truth. They're not going to stop and think that there it is right before. They're not going to do that. They are turning their backs, as it already been for quite some time, far away from Yah. They don't want to hear truth. They don't want to know truth. They don't want to be a friend of truth. They don't want to walk in truth. They don't want to talk in truth. And they don't want to feel in truth. They want to believe a lie and live a lie, because all of that is in their flesh. And that's what they want to live. They want to walk therein. They don't want anything spirit and truth because that word truth is in it. You see? They don't want anything spirit because they can't control it. Did y'all know that? The reason why they want to accept spirit and truth because they can't control it. They can't tell it to what to do. They can't tell truth, spirit, and truth. You go here, you go there, or you sit down, or you do this and you do that. They can't do that with spirit and truth. So their hearts are heavy against spirit and truth because truth is in it. And because it is a spirit of the Most High Yah that they cannot control. Yeah, they can control you. They can even control your spirit. All they have to do is speak enough word of wickedness into your flesh, and your flesh start to fight against your spirit. So they know that. So that's why they don't want you to speak spirit and truth. They don't want to talk to you that surrounds spirit and truth because it leaves them out totally. Okay? So the truth of this message is, truth is the biggest enemy in the world today. And it's going to be. It's not going anywhere. And I thank the Most High of that. And like I said, I got in trouble this morning. And I call it being chastised, being disciplined. Because I have went into the Word and heard what the Father has to say in my spirit. And I did not grip something that has always gripped me since I was a little girl. It's being able to recognize the power that rests therein. That's something he said they deny. And they're going to deny. Because, see, that's also detached to truth. The truth of the matter, there is a power that's beyond us. We don't want to accept that. They don't want to teach that. They don't want to preach that. They don't want to walk that. They don't want to act that. They don't want to talk that. Why? Because it does not give them any authority. It sets them all the way down to the ground where they can't get up. So they don't want a part in that power either. That's why he said, and denying the power they're in. Because if they can deny the power, then they can deny a lot of things that exist today in the order where they won't get the credit, but the Father will gain all credit and glory for all the power and authority. So they're not going to usher you anything that has to do with the power they're in, because they got to get you to believe their power, their mouth, their feelings, their personality, their emotions, their ways, their teaching, their understanding. But there is no truth that rests therein. Today I got up, I'm going to say this is like the third time I said that. I got up this morning, got me a cup of coffee, sat before my laptop, and I was just strolling alone. And it's this one young man, 16 minutes. I sat and listened very attentively, and my spirit just hit the floor. Because everything that I've been saying, this young man spoke it in 16 minutes in the way that Yah has always wanted me to see it. And I myself even have not really accepted in that type of fullness. This young man spoke as I have spoken unto you regarding the hatred in the heart of a man. And his page is called Seed of Israel. Seed of Israel. If you decide to go to that page, just listen to the 16-minute up-to-date message. If it's not teaching wicked and evil and hatred, it is off the chain. But it's what Sister Deborah has warned you all about. The level of the spirit in which Ahia has said that is upon and in our men today. Women, you don't stand a chance walking with these type of men, side by side with them, liking them, praising them, glorifying them in this heavy level of wicked and evil in this day. If you take out the time, it's the seed of Israel. think that's the name of it, The Seed of Israel. 16 minutes. And when I got off of there, this topic came to me. The truth is the biggest enemy in the world. And I want to show you where I got discipline this morning. The Most High said to me, Deborah, go back to Deuteronomy 28. You missed something. Father Yah. Father Yah. The Most High said unto me, Deborah, you missed something. I just knew I had gotten the fullness of the end game. But it was something I missed, y'all. I missed something in that. And it's saddened to my spirit right now, because I missed the most important part of Deuteronomy 28. It said a lot of things, but it was something I missed that I should not have. But I thank the Most High for bringing it to my spirit and to my heart, because it brings it back to this message that says the truth is the biggest enemy to the world. And it is. And what I missed in Deuteronomy 28 that I should not have, but I did. And I thank the Most High for allowing me to live, to go back, to see it. And want me to tell y'all what I missed. I missed what I preach about, y'all. I missed what I have taught about. I missed what I knew for many of years. I missed it in Deuteronomy 28. And when I spoke of the Most High end game, this should have been added in the message, in each individual message that I have spoke regarding the end game and Deuteronomy 28. I missed the main part. And let me tell you what the main part was. It was the power of Yah's right hand. I want to send a message to you all. That if Deuteronomy 28 was taught by me without mentioning the right hand of the Father and the power therein, forgive me. And I want to say I thank the Most High for giving me an opportunity to come back with the message in a different way. But yet, He just wants me to add the power in Deuteronomy 28 end game has been left out. What He's saying is His right hand, which is His power, has ordered all of this to be out of the right hand of His power. Do y'all understand what that power is? That power was with Him from the beginning. That power is His right hand and His stretched out arm. That's His power, in which we continue and shall continue and shall continue and shall continue to deny therein. Sister Deborah didn't add that to all the message that I spoke of about Deuteronomy 28 and being destroyed, because I was so excited that I understood that the end of Deuteronomy 28, it ends the whole matter of the curse. See, the curse had an end to it. It had a beginning, but the end is what we forsaken. 100. Not only did we forsaken the end, we forsaken the power of the end game. Let's say, for instance, you know how men and young men loves to play their games. Have you ever heard how they respond and how they act when they playing a game. Well, you need to hear how they feel when they have won that game. When that game has been defeated. When y'all said that I didn't mention the end game having power of his right hand in it. That it cannot be defeated and completed as the end game until they understand what they messing with and who they messing with. And even once they know it, they still going to reject it because it falls under this message, spirit and truth. Truth is the biggest enemy on the face of the earth. So the end game of Deuteronomy 28, which is the end game of captivity, which is the end game of the curse, it is carried by the power of the Most High or higher. And I said to the Father, I said, you know, I never thought to even add the power in your right hand and your stretched out arm in Deuteronomy 28. And then he said, I tell you what, go back. So listen to this. So I went back to Deuteronomy 28 out of being chastised and disciplined by the Most High or higher. And when I got there, he'd say, now I need you. Let me take y'all where he took me. He said, now you need to go back to Deuteronomy 28, verse 34. Deuteronomy 28, verse 34. And in Deuteronomy 28 and 34, he's telling me in Deuteronomy 28 and 34, he's actually telling me how cuckoo I'm going to become. Thank you, Father, Ahaya, Ahaya. Thank you, Father, Ahaya, Ahaya. He's telling me how cuckoo I'm going to become. Why? Because he's saying that I have suffered you as a prophetess in the wilderness to see into the matter of spirit and truth. And because you're going to see, and you're going to see where, which you have for many of years, you're going to grow cuckoo. Because of what? Truth. But what he did, he took me up to Deuteronomy 28 and 33, where it says, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away. Deuteronomy 28, verse 33. And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away. That's that right hand, y'all. That's that stretched out arm, y'all. That's the power that we continue to deny day and night and day. That's that right hand. And I'd like to apologize to each and every last one of you all who have heard my message about the end game and about how we are going to be destroyed. I have searched what y'all had given me, and I was so heavy on the ideal of being destroyed, I didn't really focus on the right hand and the stretched out arm of the Most High or highest power that created the heavens and the earth, that was in the beginning and created any and everything that you see today. That same right hand is going to destroy the house of Israel. Go back to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 33, where it says, thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away. And he said, once you accept that, Deborah, Once you accept that, and that's where I was in error, and I like to apologize. And the reason why I'm apologizing, because I'm hurt in my inner man, because that was one of the key of understanding Israel. You are destroyed by the right hand power of Ahaya. Only one can crush us away is the Father's right hand, his stretched out arm, and his right hand, which is his power. Then you go to 34 of Deuteronomy 28. So that thou shall be mad for the sight of thy eyes. He's not talking to you all. He's not talking to you all. He's talking to the elects. He's not talking to you all. He's talking only to the elects. Because you're going to see my right hand power in Deuteronomy 28 and 33. You're going to see my right hand and my stretched out hand, arm, Deborah, to the point where Deuteronomy 28 and 34 speaks of Sister Deborah and all the elects. So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thy eyes, which thou shalt see. Then you go to, he takes me right back to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 67. This is the Father's message to me this morning about the biggest enemy is truth in the world. Deuteronomy 28 and 67. In the morning thou shalt say, would Yah it were evening. Let's go again. Deuteronomy 28, 67. In the morning thou shalt say, would Yah it were evening. And at the evening thou shalt say, would Yah it is morning. You know what he's saying? He's only talking to the elites. He's not talking to you out there that's not the elites. Let me stop saying the elites. I mean the elects. He's only talking to the elects that's walking in the direction to the narrow gate. He's not talking to the elites, but the elects that he has elect. Okay? They're walking in the direction to the light. They're walking in the narrow gate, toward the narrow gate. Those are the one he's talking to. Okay? The reason why I know Deuteronomy 28 and 67 is so true, you all, for many days of my life, I went to bed at night and I said, I wish it was morning. And you all, I have said that throughout my life. And there were times where it was morning and I said, I wish it was night. So when I read that, I know he's speaking directly to me. In Deuteronomy 28 and 67, in the morning thou shalt say, would Yah it was evening. There's so many times have I said, I wish the night was morning, and I wish that the morning was night. Now watch this here. Would it, Deuteronomy 28 and 67, for the fear, for the fear of thy heart, wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thy eyes, which thou shalt see. He only speaking to the elects, who's going to be fully aware of what's actually taking place, because he's going to suffer you too. So for him to come to me and correct me this morning because I did not see the right hand power, I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful he did that, because the only reason why he correct me and chastise me and discipline me and judge me and curse me is because he has I would say a love, but he has given me his all. He has given and gave me his all. Okay? So that's the only reason why he wants me to get it right. He wants me to walk continually in truth that rests within the spirit and truth of who he is. Okay? So when he gave me that, I was delighted as a form of chastising and discipline because of the way he brought it to me. And he the way he put it forth, such a beautiful experience. It did get emotional. I did get very emotional because, see, the flesh didn't have no dominion. It didn't have a chance in hell. It didn't have a chance to accept anything outside of spirit and truth. He laid it to me, y'all. So he gave me this message. Truth is the biggest enemy in the world, because everybody is fighting up against truth. If Sister Deborah get on this Deborah platform and only have 100 viewers, why would anybody want to get on a platform that has the less of the less? It's because they are the ones that's walking in the narrow gate. You see, they are the one who knows the way to the narrow gate, and the light being the way. The ones that you would even think that those wouldn't even come, many would even come to reject the word that comes out of the mouth of Sister Deborah. The only reason why one would come is because spirit and truth is like a sword that goes from their flesh all the way through from one end to the other. And they can't stand the pain. They can't stand the pain. So their flesh rears up and say, wait a minute, that ain't what I teach. That ain't what I understand. That ain't what I believe. That ain't truth. What ain't truth? You don't carry truth. You don't walk in truth. You don't see truth. You don't feel truth. And the truth is not in you. So how would you know what truth is outside the truth of your flesh? So I want you all to check out The Seed of Israel, the young man that's so fierce about what he's saying. And the sad part, another thing sad about it, this is the type of spirit that the Spirit of the Most High has warned me about that's out here. And what I believe has happened is, this is what I believe. I believe a prophet has judged them, okay? And the judgment is so heavy that it's causing them to retaliate in such a fierce way. But to me, I'm not looking at it as they retaliating with such a fierce way. I believe it's the demonic, demon, wicked, and evil is coming out, identifying who they are. That's what I think, because only the judgment of the Most High Yah is truth. You okay? So therefore, when that judgment hit, I set an example. The moment the disciples began to speak, the apostles spoke. The moment the prophets speak, what are they doing? They speaking what? Spirit and truth. What is it that causing them to lose their lives? Do anybody in the live chat know? What caused many prophets that were sent out back in the days by the Most High, Ahia, where he was upon them in the mission in which he sent them in? What happened to them? What happened to the apostles that follow Yeshua? What happened to them? And what did they do that caused these things to happen? Truth, y'all. Truth. Truth, y'all. Truth. So if truth is that powerful then, and it was spoken to the point where it caused many to kill the apostles, to kill the prophets, what do you think truth is saying today? That's why it's an enemy to the world and the Hebrew Israelite movement. It's an enemy to them, like it has always been, because most of the prophets and the apostles were killed by the house of Israel, the whole house, the people of Israel. Who you think was all for killing Yeshua? How did he die? Did Yeshua die because he was just unrighteous? No, he died because of truth. Did not he tell him, you mean because I told you the truth? This is what I get? Because I spoke truth? When Sister Deborah is telling you the same thing, and you will get a million of Hebrew Israelite men counteracting, oh, that's not true. You are this and you are that. You see, you are Jezebel, you's a harlot, you's everything because you speak truth. You see? So if you today cannot grip and understand this message, then you need to go to the altar or go on and worship and serve Satan, because that's who you're serving. If you can't understand that the truth is the biggest enemy in the world today. It was yesterday. It was the time of Yeshua HaMashiach. It was the time of the prophets. It was the time of the apostle. And it is the time of the year of 2022. Truth is the biggest enemy in the world today. And especially like it was back in the days amongst the whole house of Israel. Truth is their biggest enemy. Oh yes. Why would you think that the Most High or higher, why would he only elect his for his name's sake? Because he wants you to know you can kill the body, but what I have prepared in them and what I have orchestrated and ordained and predestined, you ain't gonna be able to touch it. It's coming back to my new Jerusalem that I'm bringing to the earth. That's why he said, don't be afraid. And when he said, don't be afraid of those who kill the body, he's not talking to you. He's talking to the elects. Because only one that's going to try to destroy the elects is everyone who have joined Satan in his war. And what they don't even understand, Satan is already defeated. Why are you joining his war? See the stupidity? People don't even see spirit and truth that, hey, the victory is already won. Satan has already been defeated. And guess what? Why is it Satan know that? And his demons know that they have already been defeated. And your flesh running around here trying to pick the team to join that's following him. And he's looking at you stupid to say, yeah, you can come join me and go where I'm going because I'm already defeated. I know who the Most High is and was. I tried to deal with him before heaven and earth has been created. He destroyed me way back then. So if you want to join me today, you can. So you can go exactly where I'm going. Even Satan know that the biggest enemy on the face of the earth is truth. And he's winning many over with a lie. And they are walking in it full force. Even those, to me, I haven't seen anyone on this platform that's speaking spirit and truth, because truth is such a, it's the two-edged sword. It's going to hit no matter what it come up on. One way, if you know how to sling a sword, which I do, if you know how to swing it, it'll go one way or the other, but it's bound to hit the target without a doubt. So I say unto you all, I give all glory and praise to the Most High Yah for who he is, who he was, and who he's going to be in the days to come. And I say unto you, trust in the Most High with all your mind, your heart, your strength, and your spirit, okay? And let me tell you something. He's going to deliver you. And let me tell you how he's going to deliver you, because he already sent the angels out to seal you in your forehead. That means no matter what you say or what you do, you are sealed, because you already feeling like you want to just do what he wants you to do. You know, even though you might do wrong, you might say wrong, you might even act and do things negative. But guess what? Y'all said, still, you sealed for my name's sake, because I know who you are. That heart that I told you to give me, you gave me, even though I had it anyway. I had it anyway, but you still gave it to me. You see? That mind that you gave me, guess what? I have it. No matter what that flesh is trying to get you to do, get you to see, or get you to believe, guess what? I got you. I got you. I even told my angels to see to it that you are sealed. So you okay. Just keep on believing in me, trusting in me. Don't trust Deborah. Don't trust man. Don't trust woman. Don't trust nobody on that earth like you would trust me. Put me first. Don't put me last. Put me before you. Say it the most high, a higher, a higher. Put me before your husband. Put me before your children. Put me before your mother and your father, your best friend. Put me before any and everybody. And guess what? I got you. I got you in this. Because you all need to really get to the word of spirit and truth and study the poor in spirit. Okay? Study the poor in spirit. It'll blow you off the map. You'll say, oh, this is so emotional, spiritual, emotional. Because it'll take you to a deeper depth of understanding this creator and how he got all his T's crossed and his I's dotted. So again, I say unto you, the biggest enemy today is truth. Because it's an enemy to that which is untrue, unrighteous, unjust, wicked, and evil. And I want you to go to that page and see and listen to that man. And when you hear him, this is what the spirit of the most high, a higher has in time past revealed to me the minds of the house, the tribe of Judah. Let's put it like that, because he didn't say the whole house of Israel, but the minds of the tribe of Judah. This is where their mindset is. Okay, so when you hear this man and how he's trying to get other men to kill and destroy women, y'all got to hear it. It's called the seed of Israel. Just listen to him. And this is many, many, many more that has detached themselves to this same spirit of hate. And the Father want me to also say this. I need to add with the spirit of hate, evil and wicked, so you'll understand how deep this spirit is reacting on the earth today. On this earth today, so you'll see. And if you see the spirit, if you understand, let's say if you understand the spirit of hate, evil, and wicked, you'll understand why truth is their enemy. You'll understand it all. And the one thing I want to leave you with is this. Sister Deborah don't have to beat you up with this book. I can beat you up with spirit and truth. I don't have to stand back and precept you, line you, and little you. I don't have to tore you up and down. I don't have to find all the books to prove, to justify, and clarify what is spirit and truth. For it is spirit and it is truth. And it don't need not one book to identify what it is. Just think about all those disciples. Just think about those prophets, not those apostles, and those disciples. And think about those prophets. Y'all need to go back and see how those people died. I dare you to go back and understand how they died. Get in it and read it. And when you finish, you're going to be hurt. You're going to say, oh, they died. It's because they were speaking truth. That's it. They weren't dying because they did something. They put their hands on somebody. They stole. They killed. They betrayed. They died because of one thing. Truth. So if truth is not the biggest enemy in this world, I don't know what is. Because truth is going to show up and it's going to show out. It's going to fulfill everything that he has said and everything he has spoken that proceed out of his mouth. It's going to be fulfilled. Another thing, learn to read the word and hear him, hear his voice. That's another thing they never taught you and you refuse and reject. Is hearing what is proceeding out of his mouth. Hear him talk. Hear the Father talk in this book, y'all. Hear him talk. You'll realize, wait a minute, that ain't him talking. He didn't say that. Oh, wait a minute. That didn't proceed out of his mouth. That ain't what he said. And then when you start to hear what he said, you'll say, wow. Because see, he comes from me in the inner man to show me what he said in his word on the outer, which is in the book. He said, now, why are you telling them people about they're going to be destroyed? That's 100 times 100 truth. But tell them how. Because they already reject the whole Deuteronomy 28. They cursed themselves, Deuteronomy 28. They cursed it by denying what it's saying and giving them the upper hand on truth. when they deny it. The only part they want is the ship and them in slavery. They don't want no part of how they got there, why they got there, and why they're still there. But the end game is the power of my Father's right hand is at hand. His right hand is at hand. Then you go and you end up in, Sister Deborah end up in Matthew 24. And Sister Deborah taught and wore out Matthew 24. She did. She really did. I covered a lot of part in Matthew 24. Then you get here on Matthew 24. And he's talking to the elects, just letting you know. He still got his in the bush. They all over the place. So don't think you're out there and you're alone. No, you're not. No, you are not. You are supposed to have known things, seen things, and even believing things that you don't hear on these devil platforms because they don't have spirit and truth. You do. So don't forsake your spirit and truth that Yah has embodied in you for their lie. You are the ones that's walking in the narrow gate. Didn't he say very few shall find the way to life? So if he said very few, you are the few that he's speaking of. And you can't find it without him directing you. See? Now, when he said in Matthew 24, and Sister Deborah wore this out time after time, he said, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness. Not as, because he ain't coming to give you no witness or nothing. As a witness. For the world, a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So what is this going around? And this gospel in which Sister Deborah is speaking, the power of the Most High Yah is at hand. That's the gospel he's speaking of. This gospel in which Sister Deborah is teaching you all. This gospel is what Sister Deborah is messaging you about. This is the gospel that's the end game. And why do you say it's the end game, Deborah? He said, and then shall the end. That's the end game. See, so Sister Deborah giving y'all the last right now words of the Most High Yah because of the end. Matthew 24 and 14. And if you go up to 13, 12, and 11, you will see why it's time to end this thing. But I love how he ended, because I said, wait a minute, why is the gospel coming back around? He said, the power, Deborah. It's going to end this mess. Going back to Deuteronomy 28. You missed it, Deborah. Yeah, you told them the truth about being destroyed. I'm destroying them. But let them know, by my right hand and my stretched out arm shall I destroy them. See, you thinking it's the heathens destroying you. He is actually destroying you. Let me show you. He said, until thou art crushed. Okay? And in Deuteronomy, if you read it, the being destroyed, you'll see him destroying you. You'll see the Father destroying you. See, that's why he said you didn't give him the power. You took away the power from being destroyed, Debbie. Go back and tell him. It's my power. It's my right hand and my stretched out arm. And now listen to this. Deuteronomy 28. I'm talking about the right hand, which I apologize to you that I didn't expound on him destroying you mentally. Your mind is gone. You ain't going. And the reason why he's going to destroy you is because that's the end game of Deuteronomy 28. So all these Hebrew men didn't teach you all that. All of these people y'all following, y'all should kick them all to the curb because they lied to you. They deceived you. They didn't give you the end game. But Sister Deborah is finna back this thing back up to showing you where I was in error. I was in error because I'm a true believer based on an experience alone. When my son went down as suicide, I found him. He was hanging. He was purple from his head to his toe. He was a grayish dark color. And he's not. He's my color. So even his toes were gray. So I pulled him off down in the bed, cut the knife, took the knife, cut him down, pulled him down, and began to speak to him with not a tear falling off, not a tear out of my eye. I'm speaking and say, Raymond, why would you do that? You know, he was the star in the whole family. He was the star to them, everybody. So when he went down, y'all used him and brought him to the point of death. But when y'all say, I need you to breathe in his mouth, I will need you to breathe with a breath 3 times, and then I want you to pump his chest 3 times. You know, I was still disobedient. I said, no, Father, I don't know nothing about CPR. He said, do it. And did you all know, I don't know nothing about CPR, but I did what the voice said to me. I did it 3 times. The 3 sections 3 times. That 3rd time, that breath come up as if it took its first breath of life. My son began to breathe, but it sounded like blood was all in his throat, it sounded like thick blood, you know, when he was trying to breathe. First thing the ambulance and the police said, the ambulance told the police, wait a minute, something going on, something wrong. When they got there, they said, something wrong, something going on. We see him breathing, but all the signs of his body show he dead. You see? Don't come to Deborah talking no yang trash. Because where I've been, you would never go to the door of where I've been in life. Well, not where I've been, but where a higher has brought me to. You see? You think I dropped a tear? I got in the ambulance with these 2 European young men. They couldn't have been older than 25. And the one that was driving, he had the little thing in the back open so he can communicate with the other one. And they both said they were so excited to come pick up my son. The ambulance. And I said, and they said, we don't want you to drop a tear. I was like, oh, they talking to me after all this? Wow. You know what they said? They said, we don't want you to drop a tear, man. We was excited to come pick up your son because both of us began to talk about we attempted suicide too. These are Europeans. We did exactly what your son did, and we lived through it. We were blessed to get out and have another life, even after we wanted to take our life. Both of the ambulance young men, they were Europeans, young. And they say they both was excited and they got to know each other even more because they shared the idea of both of them hanging themselves like my son did. You tell me the Most High don't know how to do it. Don't tell me who he is. Don't you dare try to come to me and tell me anything. He had proven himself to me. So when they were in the ambulance, they were talking to me and they said, he's going to be all right. They said we came out of it too. We didn't even know each other had hung ourselves when we were young. And they said, one thing we want you to understand, this ain't got nothing to do with something you done wrong. So we don't want you to drop a tear. That was the father saying, you better not. I wish you would. You better not drop a tear, Deborah. When I prepared you for this for 2 weeks, you better not drop one. I wasn't allowed to do what you probably would have to do if you was in that position. I wasn't allowed, and I was alone. I was alone in this. I felt alone, but yet I wasn't alone. That was the best sleep that night I ever had in my whole entire life. In my whole entire life, the best sleep. I slept like I was sleeping in the arms of the Father. That night that my son did that, I slept in the hospital, and let me tell you something. They had to come wake me up. You see how he has been a keeper to me. I do not allow people to tell me who he is. He's beyond what they can even describe that he is in me. To me, I see him bigger than what they claim that they know him of. He's bigger than that. He's bigger than that. He restored my son to the full capacity. I remember when they had locked, they put him in a facility, and they were so shocked that he came out of the coma. And then they want to put him in a facility. And as for me, you can put him wherever you want him. It's all well with me. My father got this. They put him in a facility. First they asked me, do you want him to go? And I'm like, they were wanting to evaluate him. Why he did this? Do you all know the whole month he was in that hospital, I had to go to classes. Me and my ex-husband, we had to go to classes. They put us out. They put us out in the second time we attended class. It was about 36 I think it's something like 36 mothers and fathers in the classroom. We were the only black couple, and they put us out. There was like 4 different Oriental couples, parents, and the rest of them was Europeans. They put us out. They put us out so beautiful. Y'all, they did us so beautiful. Oh, y'all, they did us good. They did us good. They put us out, though, to the other classes that the parents had to go to for children who commit suicide. But you should have seen how they did it. They said, we want to explain to you. Your son ain't nothing but an angel. You ain't nothing like we are. And your son is nothing like our children. Your son just got up one day and decided he was going to do this. Our children been on drugs since they were 6, drinking alcohol since they were 10. Our children been in commit suicide 15 times. They say, you all don't meet the criteria. You all are different. You all are special. Your son is an angel. And when them white people and them 4 Orientals and that Oriental lady looked at me in tears, she said, ma'am, y'all don't even belong at this meeting, because y'all experience is nothing like ours. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? We didn't want to go no way, because after we had heard what they were saying, we realized that, wait a minute, that's not our experience. And I remember being in that ambulance, and them 2 young European young men, they couldn't have been older than 25. They was in the ambulance, and they got into the hospital. And the hospital had the audacity to write up, wait a minute, we still don't understand what's going on. His eyes shows that he's dead, but yet he's breathing. They said the same thing. So don't tell me who I serve. Don't tell me who he is. I don't need nobody to tell me, unless they know who he is like I know. And if you know who he is, give him all the glory and the praise and honor, and stop giving all these human beings. That's that idol. See, we don't make animals and statues. Y'all know that? We ain't worshiping those idols. So we make him alive when he said we worship idols. See, I said, Father, wait a minute. You let the Isaiah, you let Jeremiah, you let Ezekiel, you let all them talk about us idling. But who are we idling? It used to be a time idling was when people make statues and, like the Jesus on the cross. That's idling, worshiping that. But guess what? We missed something. We're idling men and women on these platforms. It has become the new idol. Y'all didn't know that. You idling them over a higher. You're idling them over the Most High Yah. Because then I get into Ezekiel 36, and he said, I'm going to take away your idols. And I'm like, well, Father, who's idling? He said, Deborah, the devil's platforms are the idol today. Facebook, Instagram, Patriot, Twitter, YouTube, that's idling. Because you're giving all your praise and glory to the people that's speaking. Even when you like and subscribe and praise them. It's nothing wrong with hearing, Sister Deborah. But when you hear me give the glory, if I'm saying something that directs you to the light of my Father, give him the praise. Give him the glory. Don't give me nothing. I'm too ugly to be entitled to anything. Okay? So therefore you give it to the one that's due. Because only he and he himself gives me the words to speak that is spirit and truth that rest in the light. Not this ugly flesh. No. He is the only one that can walk with you in the light. He is the only one that carries you in spirit and truth. So today, understand, truth is the biggest enemy to everybody in the world, because people don't want truth. They will kill you for truth. Didn't they kill all the prophets for that? Because the prophets why did you think Moses turned against Yah? Moses turned against Yah. He told him, I tell you what, if you can't forgive them people for all this old wicked and evil and idling they doing, take me out of the book. Who are you? If I was Yah, I would say, right on, I'm going to take you and them. But the Most High didn't do that, because he saw that Moses was trying to cover the spot that all of them was wicked and evil. And he couldn't battle going back and forward, seeing that they continue to do this. It was like, oh, Father, they ain't gonna stop. So forgive them. Just leave them alone and just blot me out. I'll pay the price. Y'all said, no, I don't rumble that way. I don't rumble your way. I don't care if I am using you. I don't roll that way. He said, I will blot them out. But don't come to me that way. And see, that's why he lost his way to the promised land. You see, it's because he was going to buckle up against Ahijah for the people, just like the people on this devil platform. They go up against Yah to get subscribers and likes and praise that's not even worshiping and giving Yah the praise and the glory. They'll go up against him. They'll go up against somebody like me on my page and say, when you this and you this and you this, yeah, I'm all that you said I am. Because evil speak evil. And those things in which you are speaking is only bouncing off of you and coming back to you. It has no power. It has no authority. And I don't give you none. Because you ain't entitled to nothing but wickedness. So go on the side of where you are wicked. Stay off. Stay off. Spirit and truth. You can't handle it. Truth is the biggest enemy in the face of the earth. And you cannot handle it. So I say unto you, I'm going to have to end there. But I want to leave you all with a message. Praise only the Most High. No flesh on this earth is due credit from teaching, from preaching, leading, and guiding. In anything are we entitled, because there's too much wickedness. If he said we stiff-necked and rebellion and disobedient, I salute every word he have said and said, I understand, Father. I see what you're saying. You got to see the word that proceed out of the mouth of Yah to be truth. You can't believe what we say to be truth. You got to see it for yourself. You got to feel that he's all that and some. And he knows what he's saying. And he's saying what he knows. So I, Sister Deborah, say I appreciate each and every last one of you tuning in. And I will be back. We got a good topic to talk about at 7 p.m. Central. So I love you all, and shalom and shalom.